Hi everyone. So let's look at today's Leetcode challenge. It's range sum of BST. Now I consider this problem as easy, and let's look at to the question and let's read the question and let's try to understand what question is saying, and and also some of the special things like binary search tree. What are its properties? Let's look into it, and let's learn and let's deep dive into it. So what question is saying, you are given a root node of binary search tree and two integers low and high. Return the sum of values of all the nodes with a value in the inclusive range low and high. So what they had done is they had given you two integers, that is low and high. So you have to find all the elements between that range, or even including that low and high also. So that is inclusive. That's what it does mean by the inclusive keyword. So first of all, we will try to learn what is binary search tree, and then we'll head over to solving this question. So let's look this tree only. So what a binary search tree? Just keep one thing in mind. The root node should always be greater than its left nodes and always be lesser than its right nodes. So a root node, any node which is greater than root node, it will situated to the right hand side of it, and lesser than it will situated in left hand side of it. Okay, so let's see whether this is binary search tree or not. So 10, let's look to the left hand side of it. 5 is lesser than it is, and then look 5 again. Let's see to the right of it, 7. Yeah, 7 is greater than 5, and it is on the right hand side. But look whether 7 is less than 10 or not, because after all, just look into the bigger picture. Like, yeah, it is situating in the left hand side of it, of 10, and yeah, it is lesser than that. Yeah, it is following. Let's look 5 on the left, and then look left hand side of 5. You will see 3, and 3 is less than 5, so it is following the binary search tree properties. Similarly, you can see on the right hand side, 15 is greater than 10, and it is situating on the right hand side, and then 15 does not have its left child, but it has its right child, and it is greater than that. So it is following, and it is complete, and it is a binary search tree. So now we had understand what is binary search tree. Now comes to range sum BST. Now what does the question say? So question is asking that you have to find and sum all the values. You have to find and sum all the values which are inclusive in that part, that low and high. So okay, let's look. We'll start from root. They had given you only root only. Then what you'll do, you'll go to root and ask, hey root, whether you are in between, you are in that range or not. So root would say, yeah, I am in that range. So okay, so you'll take its sum. Okay, take its value, and then what you gonna do then? So you are going to decide that where have to head on now. So you find that the particular number is in between the range. Okay, so you have two options. You have to go to the left hand side also and to the right hand side also. Okay, so you will head first to the left hand side, and then you reach 5, and then what 5 says? 5 says, hey, I am less than low, your lowest boundary, I am less than that. So I'll say that you are not of my use. I rather go to bigger part of it. If you have to go now, you will skip going to the left hand side, because you know on the left hand side there always be a lesser number there than 5, and 5 itself is less than low. So there is no use of going to the left hand side. Instead, you have to go to the right hand side. Why to the right hand side? If you go to the right hand side, then there are chances that you can reach the lower mark or greater than that, because after all 7, we need just look at the range. It is 7 till 15. So 7 can be in that range, and we are going to the left hand part of 10. So there are chances that number lesser than 10 but greater than or equal to 7 are there. They must be there. So we are going to the right hand side, and we see 7. Hey, are you in that range? And he says, yeah, I am in that range. So we'll collect that value, and then we move to left hand side. If it is belonging to, just remember one thing, if it is belonging to the range, you have to go to the both hand side, because chances are there that on the left hand side and either on the right hand side values can come into that range. If it is less than the particular low, if it is less than low, then there you have to always go to the right hand side, because you have to go to the greater part. And if it is greater than the range, if it is greater than the, let's look at over here, I'm drawing some range. If a number falls here less than low, then you have to only go to the right hand side, and if a number falls here that is greater than high, then you have to go to the left hand side. Why left hand side? Because left hand side would give you lesser number. Now you had reached to a greater number than a high, you want lesser number to come into the range. That's a greedy part over here. So similarly, you came here, go to the left hand side, what it will return? It will return 0. Hey, I don't have any value, I'm null. Similarly, its right part returns 0. They both return 0. Now you get to the return to 5 had its call all calls, because 5 call only right hand side, not left hand side, so it will return also. Then 10, what 10 does? 10 have to call 2 calls, left and right. Left is done, then it has to go to the right hand side. It goes to the 15. Now what 15 will say? Hey 15, whether I'm coming in the range or not. 15 says yeah, I'm coming. Okay, so we'll collect its value, and then we'll try to, if I told you that if it is coming in the range, you have to go to the both part, left and right. Now if 15 is coming, so we have to go to the left part. Left part says, hey, I'm sorry, I'm null, so I'm returning 0, so it will return 0. Then you have to go to the right hand side. You go to the right hand side, you will see 18. Hey, whether you are coming or not in the range. So he'll say, sorry bro, I'm not coming. So what it does, it doesn't return anything. We'll skip going that afterwards. Okay, so you'll return, then you'll return here, and then you finally return the answer to the main part. Okay, the logic is simple, and the code is much simpler than that. Okay, so let's start with it. So first of all, we'll check that whether root exists or not. Whether not root means if it is a value. If it is null, so this not will make it to the true value, and this will execute. So if it is null, then you will return 0. As I told you earlier, if it is null, you will return 0. Let's start our sum value, which you have to return. We'll initiate it with 0, obviously. And first of all, we'll look if root value is greater than equals to low, and similar, and at the same time root value, I had on the caps lock. At the same time, root value should be less than equals to high. I hope you are getting this. So what we'll do now, from here we'll call 2 calls, left to the left part and to the right part also. So what sum will does, sum will add first of all the root value itself plus its call, it will call to the left hand part. So how it will call its left part? It will call root left, and high and low and high value are same, they are not going to change in the entire code. Similarly, I'll call another call to the right hand side with the same function, just changing only root to root right, root of right, and then low and then high. Yeah, it's done. I had made a call, 2 calls to the root right and root left, and adding the root value also. Now chances are that root value can be less than low. Then what you are going to do? So you have to go to the right part. I told you if it is less, then you have to go to the right part. Why right part? Because right part will give you more or higher number. So I am going to add range sum. What range sum? Range sum will return me the right part answers, whether they are coming or not. Okay, so this will recursively call its sub part also. If it's not falling under the criteria, so it will return 0 instead. Okay, so it will call to its right part, and then low and then high. Yeah, it is done. Else if root of right root of value is greater than high. If it is greater than high, then what we are going to do, we'll try to add the value returned by range sum BST from the left hand side. So I'll call root of left. Low and high values are same, they are not going to change. Now finally, after all these calls and after going through all the if and else if conditions, they'll go in only one of them. So we got our sum finally, and now what, we have to return our sum. Okay, now this will run fine, this will give you answer, and finally you have to return your sum. Now let's give it a run and see whether it is running fine or are there any compilation errors. So there are compilation errors. Yeah, I had misspelled range sum function. Let's do it again. Yeah, it is running fine. Let's give it a submit. Yeah, it is running. You can see that it has also come on 7th of December 2022. So keep doing, keep hustling, and do like the channel, do subscribe the channel, and do share with your friends in the WhatsApp groups and wherever possible. Thank you.